Before we begin, to assure that everyone enjoys this meaningful event, would you please take a moment to turn off or silence your cell phones or other electronic devices that may detract from the enjoyment of all? Thank you. Please stand as Lillian Murphy leads us in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. The words to the song can be found on the last page of your program.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Jane Addams, class of 2017, good morning. really. Jane Addams class of 2017, good morning. Good morning, everyone. It is certainly a pleasure to welcome all of you to the 2017 commencement of the Jane Addams College of Social Work, University of Illinois at Chicago. Now, usually people do this at the end of the program, but I'm going to change it around a little bit because families and friends of this wonderful class that I see seated before me, I know that you really have been waiting to say congratulations. So let's just give a round of applause right now. And graduates, you can see there are a lot of people here who are really very, very proud of you. And I know that you got to this point because you had support, money, babysitting, encouragement, maybe some people editing or reading your papers. One person is Zen. So why don't you give a round of applause for all the people who helped you get to this point? And since some people chose to stand, I'm going to allow whoever wants to stand to turn around and try to find your family and give them a round of applause. And to, okay. And to those of you who had some friends who were kind of astonished that indeed you were even accepted into such a prestigious university, and who may have even doubted that this day would come, you don't do anything right now. But when you get home, you can, or maybe when you leave, this pavilion, you can send them either a text message or video shot of you in your cap and gown holding your diploma cover and add as a tagline, "How do you like me now?" I'm going to move on now with our more formal program, and I'm going to introduce the platform party. I'll ask each person to stand when I call his or her name, but I want you to hold your applause until I have introduced everyone. We have with us today Trustee Ramon Cepeda, our Chancellor Emeritus, Vice Chancellor Barish, Dr. Chang Ming Shea, who is the director of our doctoral program. Some people didn't hear the instructions. Our commencement speaker, Dr. Jim Gleason. Wow. You don't have your diplomas yet. The Associate Dean for the Graduate College, Dean Laura Yunker, and our own Associate Dean, Faith Bonecutter. You may now applaud. We also have with us, seated in section 103, which is to my left, some representatives from our alumni group. So would you please stand to be recognized? Thank you all very much. Now, it will be real important for you to follow instructions from now forward, okay? Do I have your agreement to do so? Yes. That was a meek yes. But this is meant to be a celebration. And, you know, we have a celebratory mood. This is your day, and I understand that. So while we are formal, there is an air of informality as well. So do enjoy this day. It is my pleasure now to introduce Trustee Ramon Cepeda. He's going to bring greetings to us from our Board of Trustees. Trustee Cepeda was appointed by the governor in 2015. He is currently Senior Vice President and Managing Director for the Northern Trust Company, Chicago. He has numerous community and professional affiliations and activities, including serving as trustee for the National Museum of Mexican Art and as an advisory board member for Pro Mexico in Chicago. Trustee Cepeda was recognized in 2010 by Hispanic Business Magazine as one of the 100 most influential Hispanics in the United States. And in 2014, he was listed among Who's Who in Hispanic Chicago. He is an alumnus of UIC, one of our own. He received his BA in Criminal Justice and Economics in 1990. Please welcome Trustee Cepeda.
Thank you, Dean, for that wonderful introduction. And yeah, I'm going to be, since she's kind of cracking the whip today, I'm going to follow the 3 rules of speeches, and that's try to be good, be brief, and be gone. So welcome again. Greetings to you all, graduates of class of 2017, on this very glorious morning. I am particularly happy to welcome you on the behalf of the entire University of Illinois Board of Trustees. I'm very honored to be here with you to help you celebrate your achievements. I'd also like to recognize your family and friends, some of whom are here today, who supported you and helped you pursue your dreams and desires. Today also wouldn't be possible without the outstanding faculty and other mentors you have had while pursuing your studies. As you head off into the world, you know you can always rely on those mentors to help you in the future. Graduation is a pretty funny time, isn't it? On one hand, it marks the incredible achievement, and on the other hand, it marks the end of such much hard work. So you feel like breathing a deep sigh of relief, which of course you should, but it's also a big transition, and all transitions, however exciting, are a little scary, a little anxiety producing, since let's face it, change always comes with nerves. I'd like to remind you, though, that the foundation you've built these last years will help you navigate those feelings. Your experiences here at Illinois have helped you identify your goals, prepare you for the kind of work you crave, and move you forward for your calling. Speaking of personal path, I hope you will remember that the definition of success isn't about who makes the most amount of money or fame. It's really about a fully well-lived life. But I don't need to tell you all that. Every time of year when it comes to these ceremonies, I start thinking of quotes that I could share with people. And Abraham Lincoln has one that is appropriate, and I think he must have been a pretty happy guy. He said, "When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That's my religion." And I don't know if it gets any simpler than that. When I read and thought of you all, because you represent the entire cohort of people determined to do good and help others and make the world a better place, I applaud you all for that. Thank you. Today, you join one of the largest alumni associations in the world, alumni who, like you, lead by example with compassion and hard work, strong Illinois values. Whether you stay in our wonderful state or go elsewhere, you'll always carry a piece of the University of Illinois in your heart, just as I do as a graduate of UIC. I urge you, in all you do to promote, protect, and preserve our legacy of learning and labor. May you share the pride I have in the university. May you spread the tradition of excellence wherever your journey might take you. Take time to savor this moment. Take pride in your achievements, and just as importantly, take time to celebrate those achievements. Now, before I go, I want to share with you one other quote because, again, they're happy quotes, and I think this is a very happy day. It's by entertainer Danny Kaye, who said, "Life is a great big canvas. You should throw all the paint you can on it." It's a kind of a pretty interesting image and, fascinating. So after today, go out and throw all the paint you can. Enjoy yourselves today. Many thanks again to our distinguished faculty and staff for everything they do to educate tomorrow's leaders. And on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, my very best wishes and hearty congratulations to you all, class of 2017.
I now have the distinct honor of introducing the Chancellor of the University of Illinois at Chicago, Michael Amaritas. He became our 9th Chancellor on March 16, 2015. His priorities for the university include a strengthened focus on our student experience, a stronger engagement with Chicago's business community and not-for-profit organizations, greater efforts to showcase UIC's research portfolio, both at home and abroad, and the development of a new, more entrepreneurial operating model for the university. These priorities are now part of our strategic plan. Chancellor Amaritas received his diploma in chemical engineering and his PhD, what I left out a part, from a university in Greece, and his PhD in chemical engineering from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He earned the National Science Foundation's Award for Early Career Scientists and Engineers, and was also elected a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Please welcome Chancellor Michael Amaritas.
Thank you, Dean Hairston. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the University of Illinois at Chicago Spring Commencement Ceremonies. And I know this is one ceremony for you. I use the plural because I'm part of 14 of them within 72-hour window. So in fact, very quietly after I'm done, I'm going to go and join another one in progress at the forum. We have a great class of 2017 to present to you from the College of Social Work. That's what I'm told. And watching so far, I started having some doubts that this is the case. And let me explain to you why. You see, I expect that family and friends, if they really feel so good about this class, would clap louder, would cheer more loudly, they would shout more. In other words, they would demonstrate that they really have intense emotions about the quality of this group. So, unless you think that they're okay, they may not be great, but they're okay, please prove me wrong as I say, congratulations, class of 2017. This is a slight improvement. You still have some way to go, but we'll work on it. I would like to thank the families. I want to thank the mothers, fathers, siblings, grandparents, spouses, children, aunts, nieces, uncles, cousins, friends, neighbors, everybody who is here today. I want to thank you for coming to celebrate together with our students. And I also, more importantly, I want to thank you for everything that you have done to support our students during their journey at the University of Illinois at Chicago. And of course, I want to thank your professors, your mentors and advisors, the people that sit behind me, also the staff of the college and the staff of UIC, the people who pushed you when it seemed that you couldn't even take one more step, but then they were there to help you stand up and face the challenges. A big thank you to the faculty and staff, so please join me. Well, this is it. You made it. With your classmates, with your friends and teammates, the people who supported you and supported each other, people who worked together with you, the people that you shared projects and notes, and I keep saying this every year, hopefully not during the exams, and the people that kept you awake, sometimes during all-nighters, and sometimes we have to admit, maybe they have kept you awake in one or two of the classes that you took. You're all here today. And I hope that you have plans, as Trustee Cepeda said, for a great party tonight. You can take the evening off, but please remember that the rest of your life starts at 7 a.m. sharp tomorrow morning. And I mean it when I say tomorrow morning, because as I look at all of you today, besides your smiles that I see the millennial generation grown up and ready to take the world in new directions. And my hope is that this process will start tomorrow morning because we need it. And by the way, I know depending on how we count, we may have some pre-millennials here as well. So how about if I call you all together the internet generation? Since you were born and grew up with the internet and all of its technology side effects playing a significant role in nearly every aspect of your lives. By now, you are the most technologically driven generation in history, and you are connected in ways impossible to have imagined even a generation ago. Consider these facts, not alternative facts, facts. You have the highest average number of Facebook friends. I have 3, and they're all members of my family. 60% of you are regularly posting selfies. From my generation, maybe there are 20 or 30 people who do this, and we can't even find them, who they are. And statistics show that you send 50 texts a day. I mean, really? I have a phone, a smartphone for 3 years, and I haven't sent 50 texts. 50 texts a day, and I'm not even going to get to Twitter. In fact, I wish some older people would stop tweeting, especially in the middle of the night. But joking aside, you know how to adjust readily to new technology programs, to new systems and devices, and you perform computer-based tasks more quickly than anyone over the age of 40. And although some may believe that multitasking is not the most effective way to work, your generation is proving this wrong. And your comfort with social media means that you are very good at promoting your skills and making both personal and professional connections using technology to overcome traditional barriers. But my hope in you is not placed on your technological skills alone. You see, more importantly, I really believe that you are the most optimistic generation that we have seen in the last decades. You see a world of possibilities, and you are not stuck on labels. Statistics, again, show that 50% of millennials consider themselves in this country politically unaffiliated, which doesn't mean that you are apolitical. It simply means that you are open-minded to a wider range of ideas. You have a healthy skepticism, and you are not afraid to ask questions. And where the baby boomers were famous for saying, don't trust anyone over 30, your skepticism is not rooted in age. It is rooted in knowledge and ability. 20% of your generation have at least one immigrant in their immediate household. And these are national statistics, by the way. If you look at Chicago, take this and multiply it by 3 or 4. And as the most ethnically diverse generation, millennials are much more accepting of differences. And your inclusion of members of other religious, racial, gender, or sexual orientation groups means that you support now and you will continue to support in the future institutions and laws that promote social and economic equality. So when I add all of these up together, what I see in front of me today is the most diverse generation in our history, the most technologically connected generation in our history, and the most passionate generation about the values of equality and justice. And here is your challenge. The enlightened and inclusive views that define your sense of right and wrong will only progress if you make your voices heard and your actions felt. Your generation has proven that you can rally behind important causes, and I hope that civic engagement becomes the hallmark of this generation. Civic engagement, by the way, does not start and end at the polls every 2 or 4 years. Civic engagement means working to make a difference in the life of our communities and developing the combination of knowledge, skills, values, and motivation to make that difference a reality. Civic engagement means promoting the quality of life through both political and non-political processes. It means building, revitalizing, and investing in communities. It means listening to all voices and frequently speaking for those who may have been silenced. I'm confident that armed with your university education and your own values and principles, you are by now ready to put yourselves at the forefront of our future. After all, this is the tradition and the legacy of UIC graduates. And I hope that you will start doing this at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. On behalf of the University of Illinois at Chicago, I promise you that we will always be your university and we will continue to support you. Like you, we will continue to grow in strength and reputation, enhancing in the process the value of your degrees. We will make you proud, just as you made us proud today. Because in the end, the greatness of a university is in big part the sum of its alumni. And today, you are becoming part of this sum. You are becoming part of this equation. And please remember to share your future accomplishments with us. Come back and visit, see your faculty members again, but more importantly, find the time to come and mentor the students who follow in your own footsteps. Go out and tell the world about your accomplishments, and go out and tell the world about your alma mater. You are now UIC's greatest ambassadors. Congratulations, class of 2017, and Godspeed.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the faculty of Jane Addams College of Social Work. Faculty members, as I call your name, please stand and remain standing until all have been introduced. And audience, I ask if you would please hold your applause until all faculty members have been introduced. Julie Fisher, Lisa Salvador, Jack Liu, Rob Wilson, Amy Watson, James Swartz, Christopher Mitchell, Henrika McCoy, Patricia O'Brien, Mark Matini, Sonia Leathers, Charles Humanu, Carol Taylor, Kimberly Jenkins, Jennifer Geiger, Karen D'Angelo, Annette Johnson, Cassandra McKay Jackson, Cassandra Hudson, Tyra Oliver, Edward Potts, Brandon McLeod, Aaron Gottlieb, and Barbara Coates.
I haven't decided yet if whoop is an applause. Okay, I'm learning. Our commencement speaker today is a member of our faculty, Dr. Jim Gleason. You can applause. Dr. Gleason is not only our commencement speaker, but he is also receiving today our college's highest honor, the Pioneer Award. So let me tell you just a little bit about him. He is retiring from the college this year after 30 years of excellent, not just excellent, outstanding service as both a teacher, a person who is engaged in community, and a researcher. He has had extensive experience as a child welfare practitioner, administrator, consultant, and researcher. He has been principal investigator for a number of federal and state-funded child welfare research, curriculum development, and training projects, including a number of projects funded by the U.S. Children's Bureau. His research and publications focus on formal and informal kinship care policy and practice, co-parenting in kinship care, how child welfare workers learn, and evaluation of child welfare programs and practice. Dr. Gleason, as you have probably determined from all that I've just read, has both a national and international reputation as a child welfare scholar. He received in 2014 the Child Welfare League of America's Pioneer in Child Welfare Award. And as I indicated below, he is receiving today the Jane Addams College of Social Work's highest honor, the Pioneer Award. The Pioneer Award was established to recognize alumni who have made significant, innovating, or pioneering contributions to a community, state, or nation. And those contributions that the person has made have shaped or changed social conditions, practice, or policies consistent with the mission of the college. My honor, and indeed a privilege, to now bring to the podium Dr. Jim Gleason. And before he delivers the commencement speech today, I want to present him with the Jane Addams Pioneer Award, which I just realized is pretty heavy.
Thank you,
So, I don't know if somebody's taking, I don't know if he's supposed to be taking a photo, but we'll let it go.
Looks like he is right there.
All right.
Okay. So we'll just...
Dr. Gleason will now deliver the 2017 commencement speech.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Dean Hairston, for the kind introduction and the honor of delivering this address. I'm really very honored to receive the Jane Addams College of Social Work Pioneer Award as well, and to be included among the previous awardees and the many more to come. And I want to thank you for the leadership you've provided to the college over the last many years. I was here when you arrived, and I know how your leadership and support has made and continues to make a difference. Trustee Cepeda, Chancellor Emeritus, Vice Chancellor Barish, Associate Dean Juncker, Dean Hairston, Associate Dean Bonecutter, Program Director Dr. Shea, and PhD Program Director Dr. Shea, and Jane Addams College of Social Work faculty, staff, and alumni. And most of all, Master of Social Work and Doctor of Social Work in Philosophy, Doctor of Philosophy and Social, I'll get it right, I've only been here 30 years, Doctor of Philosophy and Social Work graduates, and family and friends. It's a real honor to speak with you today. I actually had this honor once before in 1994, and when Dean Hairston asked me to deliver this speech, she said, "I remember that speech you gave long ago. Could you give that speech this year?" So I thought, oh no, a speech to write. So the theme of that speech was, we've got a lot of work to do. So I think I understand why this past November, when our students, faculty, and staff in the world were reacting to the results of a contentious election and concerns about the future, Dean Hairston asked, could you give that speech? So I looked everywhere, couldn't find a hard copy, couldn't find an electronic copy. So I'll do my best to capture and hopefully build upon the essence of that message. But first, before discussing the challenges ahead, let's remember there's a lot to celebrate today. Congratulations, class of 2017. And we have some August or December 2016 graduates as well. Whether you have just completed the MSW degree or the PhD, you have a lot to be proud of. You've accomplished your goal, an extremely challenging goal, and you should be proud. You've worked extremely hard, you've read thousands of pages, numerous papers, given presentations, participated in spirited classroom discussions and debates, worked with a variety of individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities in the field, developing knowledge and skills and confronting challenges as you prepare for your next step in your professional career. You designed and may have conducted research, perhaps dissertations that have taken months, maybe years to complete. So you should be so proud of what you've accomplished. And I know there's been a lot of applause, but you really do deserve another round of applause. In addition to being so proud, you should be so exhausted. Some of you did this while working full-time or part-time, raising children, caring for ill or older family members. You may have had to put your personal lives on hold, spending less time with family and friends in order to complete your work and reach your goal. But you've done it, and you should be proud. Congratulations to your support systems as well, to partners, spouses, children. Well, you heard Chancellor Emeritus. If he left anyone out, let's include you too, to your whole kinship network. You should be so proud as well. Many of you have provided emotional support, maybe financial support. You may have taken on a greater share of the household and child care responsibilities while your Jane Addams College graduate student was completing their work. So you share credit for this major accomplishment as well. So congratulations to you, and you deserve another round of applause. And family and friends, as one former student commencement speaker pointed out, in addition to our congratulations, we may also owe you an apology, or at least our empathy and understanding. You may have experienced a transformation in your Jane Addams College of Social Work student that you didn't expect, and the dynamics of your interactions may have changed as well. A simple question like, how was your day, may have turned into a passionate discussion of economic inequality and demands for social justice, accompanied by statistical evidence supporting the argument. And if you were so bold as to challenge these passionate arguments, you may have experienced demands that you produce the empirical evidence to support your views. And the dynamics of your family and extended family relationships may have changed as well. I mean, let's face it, nothing livens up a holiday celebration with the extended family like heated political discussions with a family member pursuing a Jane Addams College of Social Work graduate degree, particularly this year. Now, the people sitting here on the stage may share some of the blame for these episodes of unleashed passion. And perhaps the new PhD graduates over there who taught classes are partly to blame as well. But we're not totally responsible. Graduates, many if not most of you came to us with a great deal of passion. Perhaps it's more focused now, but the passion was there. And family members and friends, you're not off the hook either. Many of you inspired much of this passion. You may have challenged and inspired your Jane Addams College graduate to do something meaningful and make a difference. So the lesson is, be careful what you wish for. So now what, graduates? You have achieved your goal and earned your degree. What comes next? Well, here's where it gets real. You've not just completed an academic exercise. You've not only earned a master's or doctoral degree, you've entered or advanced in a noble profession, the profession of social work. Social work is not just a job. In fact, it's not just a profession. It is a calling, and it is a responsibility, especially when you are a graduate of the Jane Addams College of Social Work, a college with a mission to pursue social, economic, and racial justice, and a charge to continue the legacy of Jane Addams and advance the well-being of at-risk urban populations. This is an ambitious mission and a daunting charge, and if we are to realize both, it's pretty clear we have a lot of work to do. So you recall that I referenced my commencement speech in '94. So think back to you remember '94, right? I remember '94. Maybe some people in the audience remember '94. It was helpful to me to look back to 1994 as I prepared this talk, because we've made some progress, but we have a lot of work to do. For example, although we have witnessed a 30% reduction in child maltreatment nationwide since 1994, in 2012, the trend began to reverse, and today, on an average day in America, 1,900 children are abused or neglected by their parents or caregivers, and 4 of these children die each day as a result. And the results are even higher for African American children. There are also fewer children in foster care than 20 years ago, 25% fewer nationally and nearly 2/3 fewer in Illinois. However, the trend is reversing here as well. The number of children in foster care has increased since 2013, and many children and youth in foster care today have experienced more severe and complex trauma and require behavioral and mental health interventions, and their parents and foster parents or relative caregivers need to be part of the intervention and need additional support as well. And if our mission is to ensure social, racial, and economic justice, we have a lot of work to do, because we know that the likelihood of being removed from one's family and placed in foster care is significantly higher for an African American child than a white child, and the odds of returning home, being adopted, or otherwise exiting state custody to a permanent family are lower. African American children in Cook County are 6 times more likely to be removed from their families and placed in foster care than white children. This disparity is not only due to biased decisions, but also because of the increasing risk to children of color. Analysis of data from the National Incidence Study of Child Abuse and Neglect determined that the higher rates of maltreatment experienced by black children is largely attributed to the widening gap between black and white children in economic well-being. We also have a lot of work to do because although violent crimes have decreased by 50% since 1994, every day in America, 48 children or teens are injured with a gun, and 7 of these young people die as a result. And while sometimes reports of these shootings and deaths capture the attention and spur the outrage of the general public, the attention and outrage seem to be fleeting. Unless you happen to live in, and maybe are raising children in, one of the neighborhoods of concentrated poverty and lack of public investment, where the violence is also concentrated. Now, there have been improvements in juvenile justice. Innovative evidence-based interventions with youth and their families and changes in policy have contributed to a decrease in the rate of youth committed to juvenile detention facilities by nearly 1/2 since 2000. But these innovations have not benefited all youth equally. During this period, the gap between African American and white youth increased by 15%. African American youth are 4 times more likely, Native American youth 3 times more likely, and Latino youth are 60% more likely to be committed to detention than white youth. And unlike the juvenile population, the adult prison population has grown. The United States of America has the distinction of being the world's leader in incarceration, 2.2 million, which is more than double the number reported for 1994. This surge has been driven by mandatory sentencing and incarceration of nonviolent drug offenders. Although it appeared for a moment that there was growing bipartisan agreement that the money spent on incarceration would be much better invested in drug treatment, education, and economic development in communities experiencing the highest rates of incarceration, we have all heard, and many of us fear, that the new administration is doubling down on what has been referred to as a law and order approach, without investment in the lowest income communities. This approach is guaranteed to exacerbate the already extreme racial disparities. Black men and black women are nearly 6 times more likely to be incarcerated as their white counterparts, and Hispanic men and women are about 2.5 times as likely. And the disparities at each decision point in the criminal justice system demonstrate systematic bias with people of color. Now, perhaps at the core of most of the social problems I mentioned today are poverty and inequality. The gap between the rich and the poor was already a problem in 1994. In fact, the gap has grown steadily since 1979, now nearing levels of inequality that immediately preceded the Great Depression of 1929. Racial and ethnic disparities are obvious here as well. African Americans now have 13 times less wealth than white Americans, and Latinos have 10 times less. What makes this most disturbing is mounting evidence that the degree of income and wealth inequality is more predictive of a country's problems, social problems, than is the country's overall wealth or level of poverty. In other words, growing the wealth of the United States will not reduce social problems unless the wealth is shared more equitably by all. Now, we have also observed a change in the general public's attitudes about a number of issues. And today, marriage equality exists, something that many of us did not envision in 1994. But there are questions today about the sustainability of this and other Supreme Court precedents as the composition of the court changes. And it was 1994 when the Federal Violence Against Women Act was first passed, and it made a difference has made a difference in efforts to prevent, reduce, and more adequately respond to intimate partner violence. But the latest reauthorization was stalled for more than a year because of forces that opposed extending protections of the law to same-sex couples and individuals living in this country without documentation. As our country continues to become more diverse, the world continues to get smaller. Information is shared more quickly through electronic devices, and we are almost immediately aware of terrorist attacks and other forms of violence that occur all over the world. We observe the persecution of people because of religious beliefs and ethnic differences, and the plight of refugees fleeing this persecution. And while our response is sometimes to embrace each other and build bridges, we have all become more aware of those who emphasize divisions and isolation and advocate building walls. This is the environment in which we attempt to ensure social, racial, and economic justice. So now what? So I know this list of challenges can be overwhelming and discouraging. And there are many more challenges I know you could add to my list. But this is probably the last thing you want to be thinking about on your graduation day. And you may be asking, what can I do about this? What difference can I make anyhow? Well, we could look to our college namesake for inspiration. But be forewarned, Jane Addams was not perfect, but she was a bit of an overachiever. Jane Addams and the women and men of Hull House joined city and statewide campaigns for better housing, improvements in public welfare, stricter child labor laws, protection of working women, tenement house regulation, an 8-hour workday, factory inspection, and workers' compensation. They advocated research aimed at determining the causes of poverty and crime and supported women's suffrage. Jane Addams was national chairperson of the Women's Peace Party, presided over the International Congress of Women in The Hague, and was the first woman awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. And then she donated her share of the prize money to the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. Jane Addams also worked with other reform groups to develop the Immigrants Protection League, the Juvenile Protection Association, the first juvenile court in the United States, and the world's first child guidance clinic, which is now Institute for Juvenile Research, University of Illinois, Chicago. And she also authored or co-authored a dozen books and over 500 articles. So that's impressive, but it was a long time ago. So where do we look for inspiration today? Where are our role models for facing today's challenges and maintaining the creativity, compassion, enthusiasm, and passion that brought you to the Jane Addams College of Social Work? Turns out we don't have to go far for sources of inspiration in pursuing social, economic, and racial justice when we become frustrated, discouraged, or our passion begins to wane. There are sources of inspiration right here at the Jane Addams College of Social Work among our faculty, our alumni, our community partners, our current students, and you, our graduates and newest members of our alumni. As I prepare to leave Jane Addams after 30 years as a faculty member and 7 as a student, I realize how much Jane Addams College of Social Work and everyone who has been part of it have helped me sustain my passion. When you get a moment and you're looking for a source of inspiration, take a look at the college website, scroll through the updates, and take a look at the summaries of each faculty member's research focus. I am inspired by the knowledge, expertise, and passion for social justice that drives their work, and I'm so proud to say I am a member of this faculty. I invite you to pay attention when our PhD graduates walk across the stage today. Listen to the titles of the dissertation research they conducted, and tell me whether you think Jane Addams would be proud. I know each of these graduates. I was fortunate to serve on each of their dissertation committees, and I can tell you their research is driven by passion for social justice locally, nationally, and internationally. Rob, Ronnie, Boomy, Isatu, Nikki, Kristen, and Arturo and Aslahan, who can't be with us today. Each and every one of you inspires me, and I look forward to staying in touch and following your work. I know you'll make an impact, and I envy your current and future students. And take note of all the MSW graduates who will cross the stage today. They include social workers specializing in services to children and families, mental health practice, school social work, and community health and urban development. They include practitioners who completed interdisciplinary training, an evidence-based practice certificate program, the child welfare traineeship, and they include school social workers, community organizers, community engagement specialists, policy advocates, and graduates of the joint MSW-MPH degree program, and more. This is a well-prepared addition to the MSW workforce. I know many of you, and I see you out there, and I'm inspired by your passion, your enthusiasm, your drive, and your commitment to social, racial, and economic justice. We are expecting great things of you. I also invite you to pay attention when you receive mailings from the college. Read the dean's reports and articles and affirmations that describe the work that faculty, staff, students, alumni, and community partners are doing. And tell me whether you think Jane Addams would be proud. In the field, you will meet many fellow Jane Addams alumni. They are among the top leaders in a number of fields of social work practice and are some of the strongest social justice advocates you will encounter. Fellow alumni, are you in that section? As a graduate of Jane Addams College of Social Work, MSW, and PhD program, I can say I am really very proud to be among your ranks. To all graduates, our newest alumni, I invite you to keep the college informed of the work you do, because I'm quite sure you will add to this legacy. Tell us about your work. Share your passion with us. Turns out that passion is contagious. You can be infected, and you can become a carrier and infect others as well. So in a few minutes, you'll walk across the stage to be recognized for all of your work and the degrees you have earned. Now, as Chancellor Amarita said, we've got a lot of work to do, but you do deserve to celebrate, and maybe you do need some rest. Is he still here? Okay, so I'm retiring, but I can contradict the chancellor, right? You can have more than the day off. Take tomorrow. Take the whole weekend. But then let's get to work. We've got a lot of work to do.
It's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Another round of applause for our commencement speaker. We definitely have work to do. Right now, we're still celebrating. I'm asking now if our Vice Chancellor Barish will join me at the podium. We're almost at that great moment, or those great moments. It is my pleasure to introduce the following program administrators who will present their degree candidates. The PhD and MSW candidates will please rise after the administrators have stipulated their degrees. Associate Dean Laura Yunker of the Graduate College will present the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Doctor of Philosophy candidates, please rise. Vice Chancellor Barish, upon recommendation of the faculty and by the vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please rise?
Upon these recommendations, and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the Doctor of Philosophy degree for which you have been presented, and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations.
Will the new recipients of the Doctor of Philosophy please come to the platform to be hooded and recognized? Our first candidate is Veronica Diamant Wilson. Her dissertation is The Effects of Social Support in Preventing STIs, HIV amongst Transitional Age Youth in Foster Care. Next, we have Aisitu Ibrahima, whose dissertation is titled Towards Indigenous National Policies and Programs, Maternal Health in Ethiopia. Our next candidate is Roberto Asfoam, and his dissertation is entitled This Ain't the 90s, Chicago Black Street Gangs in the 21st Century. Our next candidate is Kristen Huffman-Goschling, and her dissertation is titled School Climate and Acculturation, the Academic Impact for Newcomer Adolescents. Our next candidate is Linda Johnson, whose dissertation is titled Birth Mother's Experiences of Voluntary Relinquishment. And our final candidate is Olubunmi Oyiwowo Gasikia, and her dissertation is entitled Influence of Identity on Domestic Violence Response, a Study of Black Muslim Women.
I'm waiting for the last person to come back here. And maybe I need to wait just a little bit longer. And I want all of you to stand again, and another round of applause. As some folks would say, you've done good. Associate Dean Faith Bonecutter will present the candidates for the MSW degree.
Vice Chancellor Barish, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Master of Social Work. Will the candidates for the MSW degree please rise?
Upon the recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Master of Social Work degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations. Please be seated.
And now, will the new recipients of the Master of Social Work degree come upon the platform to be recognized?
Lily Diego Alvarez. Ebony Barney. Chenlu Lee. Kate Jones. Rebecca Boyu. Destiny Powers. Bryn Voss. Rebecca Kraus. Yanica Carmona. Alpa Gamit. Janet Pedrosa. Janine McGowan Crawford. Denise Harris. Natalie Boothsafe. Samantha Bartosik. Adriana Jakonska. Felicia Headley. Nicola C. Blair. Tuka Rashid. Allison Grzinski. Luisa Morales. Esmeralda Flores. Kayla Hanley. Stephanie Medella. James Barnett, Jr. Alexander Reich. Kelly Hagler. Megan Schultz. Kali Johnson. Elizabeth Gendra. Elizabeth Ann Robison. Jamie Nicole Smolinski. Katie Elizabeth Pratt. Molly Maddox. Lexi Brown. Haley Henderson. Guadalupe Toledo. Melissa Haberstroh. Genesis Padilla. Caitlin Klein. Emily Kiesling. Taylor Meadows. Catherine Bowker. Alexandra Aguilar. Fatima Abidemi Abioye. Megan Brick. Marnie Sherman. Paige Vanden Houten. Genesis Rosales. Valerie Denise Harris. Briar Gardner. Emily Letts. DeMonica Jones. Corey Marr. Kimber Tuff. Victoria Zapavinia. Emily Bureau. Julie Belgrave. Katarzyna Hitzmakshin. Sydney DeAndrea. Tyler Mueller. Maria Isabel Almanza. Jade Miko Lopez. Kristen Melchiori. Robert Hogue. Gwen Murphy. Katie Russell. Daniel Jerez. Katie Hollahan. Michael Helfgott. Giovanni Escobar. Rebecca Martin. Yaresi Lopez. Mary DeFino. Rebecca Rich. Marcellus Posey. Zachary Leeser. Madison Hammett. Eileen Kelleher. Julie Moline. Chandler Ladre. Nicole Walsh. Kayla Kiley. Sky Ashley Ensom. Rolanda Sanders. Rosangelica Pacheco. Hayden McMurtry. Samantha Wagner. Megan West. Erica Grantier. Maribel Martinez. Myra Diaz. Lauren Gabarick. Emily Brennan. Jasmine Ashley Barnes. Desiree Addams. Christine Dixon. Bridget LaDuke. Alyssa Kaplan. Griselda Guzman. Jessica Bino. Amelia Gabusi. Austin McCulloch. Kelsey Bishop. Grace Ferlin. Jessica Gardner. Jennifer Gerke. Lauren Suchi. Lauren Kirby. Callie Keeney. Lachey Anderson. Kyle Bran Padilla. Jordan Stevenson. Anna Quincer. Kevin Wilson. Melanie Israel. Cassie Flynn. Katie Dine. Toby Ballantyne. Amanda Seegers. Blake Sterling Glom. Carly Hood. Daria Keskin. Dominic Jeffaloni. Christina Anderson. Allison Moser. H.B. Riley Rays. Ginsey Rose George. Jessica Postal. Brianne O'Reilly. Allison Pavlik. Mackenzie Rand. Sophie Roskin. Sabrina Perino. Rosemary Padilla Talento. Cara Hogan. Jasmine Vine. Megan Cummings. Maria Angelis. Richard Chin. Katie Budney. Emily Kitchen. Emily Corey. Geraldine Arthur. Caitlin McGarry. Rachel Press. Ashley Wilcox. Gauri Goswami. Laura Nicole Applebaum. Jessica Taylor Harris. Caitlin Lynn Makowski. Alexis Koth. Christina Curtis. Laisha Porter. Tuba Sipsy. Lizette Martinez. Megan Rogers. Joshua Mueller. Tiara Banks. Marilyn Zoe Gay. Crystal De La Huerta. Shalonda Robinson Dobbs. Tierra Booker. Wang Wen. Tiffany Woodard. Zachary Stewart. Roxana Ocampo. Mary Soleil. Yadira Garcia. Jorge Andres Duarte. Alexandra Hill. Alicia Wildermuth. Minak Sanchez. Yvette Godino. Maria Haberkorn. Dorina Moore. Hannah Larson. Emily Hickey. JoBeth Carla. Christian Knighton. Frenam Frempong. Amina Khan. Alicia Pointer. Duan Powell. Jesse Barajas. Yvonne Swilly. Alex Watt.
So another round of applause for our graduates. And I can tell from that round of applause that there are some happy people in this pavilion today. So one more time. Now, you heard our trustee earlier say that I was cracking the whip, but notice I let you go a little bit longer than I had anticipated. So we're going to move on because we have a few more remarks before you really break out into celebration. And at this time, I'm going to introduce Judith Roca, who is the president of the Jane Addams Alumni Association Constituency Board, and she is bringing greetings from our alumni.
All right. Class of 2017, you are entering a professional world today that has a lot of room for improvement. It will be your innovative practices, research, and policies that carry us through to positive outcomes that we all need and very much deserve for our society. It is your hunger for breaking down the structural oppression and building solidarity with marginalized communities that not only makes change an abstract possibility, but a concrete reality. As you continue in your professional journey, the Alumni Board and I, of course, wish you well. We are grateful and very excited to have your vibrancy and level of competence at the forefront of our field. My call to action for you today is that you keep us close in your trajectory. Whether you realize this or not, you began developing a lifelong network the minute you stepped forth a foot on that fourth floor social work building. The expertise, resources, and fruits of your labor are exactly what makes the Jane Addams College of Social Work thrive. So please bring those back often. Together, we can continue to build learning environments that our future colleagues can continue to excel in. How can you do this, you ask? I knew you would want to know. So here's an easy way to remember, since I know you probably already forgot how I started my remarks today. I have this pumped fist up in the air, and I want you to remember this the next time you have even a second to ponder how you're going to make an impact now that you're a big, bad graduate, degreed person in the world. Think of the 6 letters of pumped. P-U-M-P-E-D. Try really hard to remember what I'm about to say those stand for today. Pumped, P. The pin that you have in your chair on a card that you probably already folded into an airplane or an origami shape that you're going to hand off to your loved one as you leave, that card. Pull that card out. Keep it close, because there you'll find the Jane Addams website, where I'd like for you to please update your profile regularly with things like change in jobs, promotions, awards received, new projects, when you relocate from Chicago because this weather isn't bipolar enough for you, or when you receive attention in the media, hopefully positive, or as you're completing your research in the field. Please keep us connected. You, unite and resist. In these trying times and always, unite with the college and the university in lobby efforts that support accessible, affordable, and quality higher education for all. Unite with communities that are marginalized as you continue our mission for racial, social, and economic justice, not only as advocates and allies, but as accomplices. A few of your peers, like Lily Diego Alvarez, Yanitza Carmona, Arturo Carrillo, have done just that in different capacities while in our program, as I'm sure many of you have as well in your time here. I couldn't say it best, but the fierce Lily Diego Alvarez has this to say, and I quote, "I refuse to let my voice be silenced. I am here to protest against hatred, stigmatization, and violence," end quote. So unite and resist. Keep that second one very clear in your mind. Number 3, mentor, teach, and supervise. Come back and ask what student you're going to mentor next, what class you're going to teach next, and what field placement opportunity you can make possible for that next set of students, because we need you. Number 4, pride. Be proud of all that you have accomplished by way of this degree and by this institution, and share that pride with others often. E, encourage others to attend. You are now experts in what makes or breaks a student in this social work program. So make sure to put that plug in for our alma mater the next time you're talking to those that could potentially be the next successful Jane Addams graduates. And D, can't forget, you gotta donate. Big or small, I'm sorry folks, big or small. I ask that you pay it forward, and I'm not only saying monetary contributions, which those are very much appreciated, but your time. Bring those contributions back to us so that we can continue to build the resources that we can offer our future generations of students. Join me by sitting on the board, the alumni board, and through the various opportunities to give back. So, pumped, right? Pin your profile often, unite and resist, mentor, teach, and supervise, be proud, encourage others, and join me in donating. Don't forget. See, pump it. I'll close with this quote. I'm going to read it in English, and then I'll move on to the Spanish version of that. This is a quote from Cesar Chavez, a great leader, and like us, an advocate of racial, social, and economic justice, as he addressed the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco, California, on November 9th, 1984. Once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate the person who has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels proud. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. Los dejo con estas palabras sabias de César Chávez, un gran líder y como nosotras y nosotros, un justiciero por la igualdad social, económica y entre razas. Una vez que el cambio social comienza, no se puede revertir. No se puede deseducar a la persona que ha aprendido a leer. No se puede humillar a la persona que siente orgullo. No se puede oprimir a las personas que ya no tienen miedo. Congratulations, class of 2017. Sí se pudo.
Thank you, Judith. Yes, we can. Together, we can do almost anything that matters, right? It is now my pleasure to introduce Bridget Leduc, who will deliver the response for the graduating class of 2017. Bridget is a recipient of the MSW degree and is president of the Jane Addams College of Social Work Student Government Association.
Good morning, graduates, distinguished guests, friends, family, and loved ones. I'd like to begin by thanking those of you who came out to support the graduating class of 2017. We have students graduating today that have been a part of Jane Addams for any time between 1 and 7 school years. I know I'm not alone in the gratitude I feel for those who have supported us throughout our times as students. Your kind words and endless encouragement kept us going when we felt like our graduation day couldn't come soon enough. I would also like to thank my fellow graduates for giving me the opportunity to speak today, even if I did try to get out of it, specifically my fellow members of student government, Jessica Fino, Grizzy Guzman, Alyssa Kaplan, Abida Bioye, Emily Kiesling, Sydney DeAndrea, Gwen Murphy, and Judith Roca. Jane Addams College offers a wide variety of ways to pursue an advanced degree in social work. Students graduating today achieve their degree through either the advanced standing, full-time, part-time, postmaster's, dual degree, or PhD programs. With so many different ways to get to where we are today, it's no surprise that the student body is incredibly diverse in terms of background, experiences, and personal interests. I wanted to do my best today to represent students from all programs and all concentrations to showcase the diversity of our graduating student body. In order to incorporate the voices of the graduating class, I decided to ask 2 simple questions. First, why are you here? What event or events led to you being in this very seat on this very day, about to receive an advanced degree in social work? We all have our answers, and I've had the pleasure of hearing so many over the past 2 years. More than one student I spoke with felt that the social work profession had chosen them. Many cited their passion for working in a particular field or with a specific population, and even more spoke about their desire to affect change in their community. Or as one student so passionately stated, social work isn't my career, it's my passion, my life, and my calling. Having already asked the students why they are here, I felt I needed to ask just one more thing. What do you hope to accomplish? Students spoke about their desire to help those who struggle with chronic mental illness or substance abuse, to advocate for marginalized populations, to inspire others to become leaders and change makers, to incite transformation within oppressive systems, and to ultimately make a meaningful difference in the lives of the people they serve. We find ourselves leaving Jane Addams at a time where the skills we have practiced and the knowledge we have gained seem to be at their highest demand. As the namesake of our college once said, "The good we secure for ourselves is precarious and uncertain until it is secured for all of us and incorporated into common life." We can hold ourselves true to this statement by working towards building stronger, safer communities, advocating for those who often have their voices silenced, and teaching the next generation the importance of acceptance, tolerance, compassion, and kindness. My hope for the graduating class of 2017 is this: take the skills you have refined here and bring them out into the communities you will serve with unflinching hope and empathy. In the times when you feel that the problems we are working against are too great, I ask you to refocus yourself around your answer to those 2 questions. Remember what drew you to social work in the first place and what continues to keep you invested in this work. I challenge you to accept that change will not be immediate. There will be many obstacles along the way, that you will at times encounter heartbreak or hopelessness. But in the face of it all, I challenge you to choose each and every day to relentlessly pursue a better world. Congratulations, class of 2017, and good luck.
Thank you very much, Bridget. I mean, she's very happy, obviously. And she's sighing, oh, thank goodness. Thanks again, Bridget, and thanks to all of you. And as she said, good luck. I mean, you have now done it, but there's so much more to do, as Dr. Gleason said. Another round of applause for our graduating class. At the conclusion of the program, I invite graduates, their families, and friends to join us for a reception in the large tent that's east of this building. And I have one more instruction. Will the audience please remain seated until faculty and graduates have marched out? Banner carriers, please retrieve your banners. Thank you for coming. The 2017 commencement of the Jane Addams College of Social Work, University of Illinois at Chicago is now over.